Iceland's views are unforgettable, but until the Free Willy Foundation chose it, it was a country unknown to most of us. The news channel has the first extensive look at Keiko's new home. Iceland's interior has rugged mountains and high plateaus nestled next to deep coves. The coast is rough and windy. Researchers have already checked out the cove that will soon be Keiko's home. It's a place where they hope he'll learn to fend for himself.
Well, it's a beautiful place. There are some issues revolving around it, revolving around its depth. It looks like it's well protected, but it's not quite deep enough, so there may be some dredging that has to be done there. The mayor has assured us that's something he's going to look into doing for us, potentially.
Icelanders do seem excited about their newcomer. They recently baked a welcome Keiko cake, carrying it through town. On our end, preparations are moving along. The cargo plane carrying Keiko's pen took off from Seattle's Boeing Field early this morning. Icelanders built their own welcome mat, a killer whale on the beach with volcanic rock and seaweed. Real killer whales are a common sight to Icelanders. In fact, it's where Keiko was born and captured at the age of 2.
Keiko gets a front row seat as his caretakers show off a model of his next home. Though it looks small, it is actually 60% larger than Keiko's cement pool in Newport.
This side will be where we'll tie up our boats.
Jeff Foster helped design the pen. It will be made of 30-inch foam-filled PVC pipe and thick nylon mesh. When set down in the middle of a North Atlantic bay, it will give Keiko a whole new world of experience.
There's never been anything of this size. And in a captive environment, it's a very sterile environment. You don't hear the sounds and the noises that you normally would in the wild. Plus, you don't have the tidal movement and wave action. So this will be totally different than what he's used to. So,
for most of his life, Keiko has had only himself to listen to, and the view out Keiko's windows has been filled with people, not other sea creatures. Those charged with caring for Keiko hope the new environment of the sea will awaken an urge in the killer whale to return to the open ocean.
We've always known what our goals were, so it's not going to be like you're losing a member of the family. It's just going to be that he has been a big part of our lives now for a couple years, and so though we'll stay in his life, it will be very different.
Patty Panther visits Keiko often. For her, the idea that he's really leaving brings up mixed emotions.
Whatever's good for him.
You gonna miss him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This one's good and lively. He's following it.
His trainers want Keiko out of this tank and chasing fish in the North Atlantic sometime this fall. That's where Ralph Ford comes in. He's been researching killer whales for 5 years, but he makes a living welding pipe. Now he's part of a 20-man crew building a floating pen for Keiko.
It's real rewarding to have a job where you're actually doing something that you've been involved in and your heart's in it too.
The company's built floating pens like this one before, using pipe about 12 to 18 inches round and weighing about 200 pounds apiece. But Keiko's pen is a much bigger task. Here they're using pipe that's 2,000 pounds, it's 50 inches in diameter, and when they're done, it'll be the size of a football field. That pipe is rock-hard plastic. Once it's cut, crews weld each section together. They heat both sides with a 450-degree hot plate. Here you can see the plastic melts and start to roll back. Once that happens, they pull out the plate and splice the two pieces together.
And it's as strong as, or stronger than the original pipe.
Those bonds are built to withstand pounding waves and other hazards in the sea.
They're very buoyant. What we do is we foam fill them. The reason the foam filling goes in there is for if there's any holes punctured or anything like that, any leaks in it, the foam filling offsets the water so they don't sink.
This is what the finished product will look like. It'll be ready for its new tenants in another 2 months. And Ralph Ford says over those next 2 months, he'll be saving up vacation time so he can see Keiko swimming in his new pen in person.
It takes the world's largest commercial freight aircraft to haul a new home for the world's most popular killer whale. 180,000 pounds of metal, plastic, aluminum, and rubber being loaded into the belly of a Russian-built Antonov. Keiko himself is no lightweight at 10,000 pounds. Never before has a captive killer whale been rehabilitated and returned to the wild. Though they're not making any promises, sending Keiko's new home to Iceland is a huge step towards fulfilling that dream. Originally, the Free Willy Keiko Foundation was going to ship the Bay pen to Iceland in pieces, but sending it all at once is a lot more convenient.
These guys have been very nice to us and given us a bit of a discount on the price, but it's still a $150,000 airplane ticket.
Much of the crew is Russian, and so is the plane. In fact, the Antonov was built as a Russian military transport, now part of a joint British-Russian venture. The British captain gives us a look into the cockpit. Traveling at 500 miles an hour, it will take one fuel stop in 10 hours to land outside Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. The pen will be taken by ship down to the Westman Islands, to one particular island called Hayman. It'll then take 45 days to assemble, with a crew working 20 hours a day. If all goes well, Keiko himself will take a long plane ride to Iceland in mid-September.
Even though we're pushing the clock because of Keiko's age in captivity, he appears to be really ready to go.
Hi! That's my boy. That's my boy. There's a camera over there. We got a camera today.
Most days now, it's just Keiko and his trainers. The pool of cameras that followed him here 1 year ago are mostly gone. In fact, a lot has changed since the sick, underweight celebrity made his dramatic entrance at Newport's Oregon Coast Aquarium.
Come on. Keep pushing. Come on. Take that, good.
Physically, he's bigger and stronger and healthier. He can swim faster, jump higher. That's important because if he ever goes back to the wild, he'll have to keep up. Orca whales swim up to 100 miles a day. His trainers say the most exciting change they've seen is happening in his head. We caught up with them for a progress report during the Christmas break.
He's active, he's stimulated. So I'd like to tell people the light's starting to get brighter and brighter. He's starting to use his brain to solve those problems.
It's up to the trainers to come up with new things, new toys for Keiko to try. Like a preschooler, Keiko learns through play.
You're in for it now, sport. You are in for it now. What is that big thing?
We're trying to give him an ever-increasing change in life. That's what his life, if he does go to the wild, when the foundation makes that next step, that is the type of day his day will be.
What are you doing down there? He's just looking right through the hall. What are you doing?
It's that playfulness the visitors who come to see Keiko love.
I made him smile at me because he waved at me.
Kids and grown-ups fascinated by Keiko's life story and the campaign to free the real-life star of Free Willy ask every visit, when can he be set free?
Okay, let's make a run. Come on. Let's make a run. Go.
Keiko's trainers say the first year's been amazing, but he's not ready yet.
Keiko needs to start taking the lead, and so we're gonna be excited to see exactly how far he can go.
We've seen Keiko pull some amazing stunts, like underwater spirals that lead to huge breaches. But we haven't seen him snack on any of these. Till now, live fish haven't been a part of his diet.
1, 2, 3, ate them all.
He's been sucking down dead herring for months, but today we got a rare look at how Keiko reacts to salmon that swim.
Okay, I've got it. Salmon swimming towards the med pool by the gate. Keiko's looking at it.
Here, he hones in on a 10-pound steelhead.
Looked like he bit down on the back end of it. The fish is kind of twitching.
At first, he toys with it, but in a few minutes, trainers celebrate after Keiko swallows his prey.
Good. Good for him. Good. He popped it off.
For now, live fish are strictly a reward. They're tossed in at different times during his training sessions.
If he chooses to go off swimming and ignore a fish, that's his choice. We go on with the session and continue to work.
And while Keiko works on learning to catch and kill new fish, his new floating cage is slowly being pieced together. The hope is to relocate him to the waters of the North Atlantic in a pen like this sometime this fall.
We believe that biologically that is the best place to return Keiko to his natural habitat.
But the foundation says that deal won't be done for at least a couple of weeks. In the meantime, these trainers will keep coaxing Keiko into learning how to fend for himself.
He is catching and eating live fish. That's a big jump in itself. I mean, that's a major breakthrough.
He says getting him to see live fish as a primary source of food on a consistent basis is the next step.
When Keiko takes a breath, he'll dive down into his new 600,000 cubic foot home. The pen's only been in place a few weeks now, but already algae's growing on the woven plastic netting that will keep Keiko in while he prepares to go completely free.
This facility for him is 60% bigger than the pool he lives in Oregon. So I think we're going to put him in this pool and he's going to have a great time swimming back and forth and exploring the water. We've had big schools of fish out here in the bay and the birds are flying around. It's going to be interesting to watch him in his world again and watch the changes in him, because I think we'll see some dramatic ones.